Hello, it's San again. I'm working with Team Terra, and there's a request from some of the nurses that they need a head cover. So this is kind of like a head cover that we put buttons on the side. So the good news is if you happen to have a mask that is pulling on your ears, you could actually put the strap, the elastic on the button on each side, and you can tie this on top of the head like a head cover. It is designed in a way that will be convenient for you to wear it under your surgical cap or above your surgical cap. And this is 100% washable. Okay, so let's go start working on this. Measurement wise, we found, my partner Carla and myself, we found that you can cut a very simple 10 inches by 15 inches rectangle like this. Okay. Because this is not a face mask, so it doesn't matter what kind of material you use. You can use something that is maybe that you possibly don't have much plan to use. I just use poly cotton that is not the thickest type, but I think is good enough to start this project. So first thing you need to do is you have to fold it lengthwise. Just try to make sure it looks like lengthwise. Just like this. Okay. And again, you're going to go flip it inside out after you sew. So just like this. Okay. So again, to help you with the time, I actually already have one that is done, and I use black color thread to make sure you can see the finished product. I love to put the pin that is an X in the middle and then sew around the side, because this is where I'm going to flip inside out. Okay, just like that. All right, so now after this we'll work on flipping it in a minute, but you have to get ready the strap. Now this strap will go all the way across as one piece. I just take one part or one piece from my jelly roll. You're welcome to cut the 2 inches wide to 38 inches long. 38 to 40 inches will be fine. And that will be your strap. And when you're done, you get the head cover. Your head cover will have this strap. This is also for my jelly roll. That is one piece all around the head cover, just like that. Okay? All right. So now I'm gonna go grab a strap that is done and show you how to get it work. Okay, so I have the strap that is done. So if I fold it towards each other, I have a video about strap, so please watch that. Same as the mask that used the homemade non-elastic strap, same idea. So this is the strap that is done. Okay, so I get it already done. So now this part is the fun part. Okay, so we're gonna go make the fold or the little pleated mark. So I'm gonna go bring back my rectangle with the X and try to show you what to do. So let's go step by step. And I'm just gonna flip this inside out. Okay, so I like this plain color fabric because it doesn't matter which side you are working with, and it should still be okay. And the main purpose is the strap holding down the buttons, and it will work. So my little trick is usually I have my ball pen right here, and I use the side that is capped. Okay, and I'm gonna go, I kept one side, and I'm gonna go and poke out all the corners. They don't have to be perfect because eventually you'll have the strap covering it, covering the corners, and also able to just do an accurate measurement. So just like that, I poke out all the corners. Okay, now I don't need to close this opening right now because later on when I put on the strap, it will be closed. So at this point, we'll go back to my little trick of making the folds, and we want this rectangle to have somewhat like a midpoint fold on each side. So we'll pin it like this. Okay, so my little trick, if you have not seen my mask making video, is I just tear out a part of my cereal box or any cardboard recycling material you have around your home, and I measure 1/2 inch as my marker, okay? And now I'm just gonna use this and fold. So I'm gonna pop this in the midpoint somewhere. Eyeball is good enough because later on it doesn't matter, it just opened up a little bit. So I'm gonna go fold it to a point. Let me just try to lift this up so you can see. I'm gonna fold this part to a point that it was touching the marker on my Cheerio cardboard. And now I created a fold, okay? So in this case, I'm gonna pin and continue with the fold on the right hand side. So you just slide, let me show you, you just slide this down, okay? And then on the other side, you can definitely just pin. Again, it doesn't matter later on. You see that when it opens up, it doesn't matter. And my suggestion is you do not pin it too close to the edge because we are gonna close the edge, okay? So I've one already done, so I'm gonna make sure I show you what to do. Put this on the side. Machine on. Your thread is facing backwards right here. And I'm gonna go use dark color thread so we can see. A very simple back and forth a few times. So you can see, okay, let me cut the thread. You can see that because the pin is a few centimeters or almost over 1 inch away from my edge. So now the pin is keeping everything in place and I just go back and forth, right, like that, okay? So now I can take out the pin and that's very easy. You have the fold, just like that, okay? And you can definitely do that on the other side. Do that and at the strap in a minute. Okay, so needles up at the highest position, thread at the back, put them at the back, and let's start. Again, the pin is a little bit further away from the edge, and that would be easier for us to take out the pin after we sew, and it keeps everything in place. Okay, so you see, same idea. You keep it a little bit farther away, pin and sew it, put away the pin, and now this part is done. Now I'm gonna go locate my opening. So I know it's not this side because I can see this is where the fold is. So it must be this side. Okay, so you see the seam, you know is this side. This is where I'm gonna go, keep that in a rectangular shape, but now it's a little bit narrower because I have the folds. And fold it in half. You fold it in half and realize that this part is where I'm gonna go put a pin on it. And in this case, it's easier to put a pin. Some people use tailor's chalk or even a pencil will work because you'll be hiding the pencil mark. But I'm just gonna go and fold it in half. So fold it in half like that, just like that, and put a pin as my marker on the top. Okay, just like that. Okay, now you do the same thing this way. You do the same thing with your strap. After you sew the strap, you created the strap. I'm gonna go and fold the strap in half. Okay, make sure it's not twisted. And now I'm gonna go put the pin at the midpoint as well. So let me put a green color pin this time so you can see the pink color pin and the green color pin. So what I'm gonna do is I want the strap to be right matching the midpoint on my head cover, just like that. See that? So now, once I do that, I keep the pins together. I'm gonna use a yellow pin so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna go pin them together because I'm gonna be sewing this part in a minute. Okay, so hopefully try to not poke yourself. Okay, and you see, if I just use yellow color, you see I have created a 90% done for your head cover. 90% done. And let me just put all the yellow pins so you know what I mean by the yellow pin is holding everything together. And then you realize this is the easiest part. Some people like to measure a little bit more. I think as long as it's even on each side. So when the medical staff is tying this on their head, it works out. So you see my original one, the rectangle, has the pink color pin, which is the midpoint. And I kind of line up with the green color pin from my strap, the midpoint of the strap. And now I pin them together, just like that. Okay? Now it's time to remove the pink and the green color pin. Pink and green removed. Okay? So now I only have the yellow colors to show you that that's what's keeping the strap together. And the strap is just right on top of where the opening, where I flip it inside out. Okay? So we're going to sew this part. Show you. And just like that. Okay? Thread at the back, facing the back. And I usually like to keep my little pin cushion next to me. And yes, this is a homemade pin cushion. I like those cute little characters. And back stitch. Now, I take a little peek, make sure I'm sewing both the strap and the rectangle together. Okay? Keep checking. Sometimes things shift, especially, we are kind of rushing sometimes. So this is where the midpoint is. I think it doesn't matter by now because it's all in the right place, doing the right measurement. Here we go. One more pin and then we're done. So this part is done. Highest position, needle, and I'm going to go snip. And also snip at the front where the beginning is. And you see that, yep, it is 90% done now. Again, if you can sew straight lines, this is one of the projects that even beginning sewists can finish, okay? So you have the fold and you have the strap attached. Now, this is the part that is funny. It feels more comfortable because of the width, okay? It feels more comfortable if I bend this back corner and just make a little loop. It is not perfect, but doesn't matter because you'll have a button to cover it later on. So I'm just gonna bend this, okay? All right, bend this to the back and basically you can pin it right here, okay? You can pin it right that and sew it right like a line right here, okay? And it will be covered by the button later on. I sometimes figure it is easier for me if I just hold it tight, but for the purpose of showing you guys what we're doing, I'm just gonna pin it so you understand what I'm doing. So see how I loop my corner back? So if you look at this side, you'll see that the two corners kind of join, okay? So that's what we're doing. So lay it flat, thread the back, okay? Again, I eyeball because as long as the two is joining and is secure, should be fine. If you have the needle very close to your machine needle, just make sure they don't crash and break any needle because of safety reasons. So I'm just gonna go and sew that corner down. A few times, that's fine. There is no challenges when you can do a straight line. You can definitely finish this from beginning to end. Now I'm gonna go and do the same thing. You see that right now, see that? So when you open it up, it will be like a little kind of head cover, okay? Oops, I forgot to trim. Oops, let's quickly trim this because I want to be sure I can show you the last part. And right here, do the same thing. Let's remind you what to do. The back corners just have to twist to a point that it will join the other corner that is holding the strap. You basically bend it so it joined, kind of like that. Then you pin, okay? Again, it's easier if you pin it down before you sew it together, but there's no challenges, because if you can do a straight line, this is just like a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch kind of straight line to hold it together. Okay, so now press the foot up, needles up, snip, snip, and now, again, doesn't matter if it is not perfect. I'm sure having the function and usefulness of these head cover with the buttons to hold the elastic of the face mask is better than just making it perfect. Now, don't worry if it doesn't look like it's perfect. I can make sure it's closer. You can see this is like a little bit sticking out, because it doesn't matter. But you have to get 1 inch wide. I tried different size, it doesn't work. So you have to get these 1 inch wide buttons. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna sew down the buttons and cover where you at those two corners meet, right here, okay? And right here as well on the other side. So you have to have the 2 buttons and sew it down, okay? So I use a flower button to make it easier for everybody to see. That's what I have at home. So if you look, once you sew it down, you have to hand sew it. And if you guys request, I may do a video on hand sewing to put on the buttons, but I think majority of you have no problem. And then now you have your little head cover, okay? Again, I'm working with Team Terra. We make a few hundreds of masks for hospitals and nurses and medical staff around the Boston area. So if you would like my video, please make sure you like it. And if you don't mind subscribing, I'm happy to have people who will continue. I may put more videos after I have more designs that is interesting and be able to show you some tricks. Thank you. Bye.